What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming to watch another one of my videos. And if you're new, thank you for checking your girl out. So today's video is going to be a very fun video because I'll be showing you guys how to get this really nice sultry date night makeup look. But I'll also be sharing with you guys one of the more terrible date experiences I have encountered in my dating life. So if you guys would like to see how to get this look and also hear a little bit of a really bad date story, then definitely keep on watching. Okay, just to start as a transitional color, I'm going to be taking this color from the Huda Beauty Warm Obsession palette, and we're just going to use that in the crease just to give it a little bit of warmth, but not too much. Moving on to the Smokey eye palette, I'm going to be taking this color right here. I'm also going to use that in the crease as a transitional color. And since in the spirit of doing a date night makeup look, I wanted to tell you guys about the worst dating experience I've ever had. So I met this guy on Tinder, right? This was 3 years ago now? 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago. I haven't used that app in forever. I don't even have it on my phone anymore. But 3 years ago, I had come out of like a really traumatic breakup. The relationship was fine, but the breakup, the ending was just really messy. Anyways, so it had been a couple of months that had went by, and sorry y'all, this is just so funny to me. And my friends, my closest friends or whatever, they were like, you need to get back out there. It's been a few months. It was like 6-7 months post breakup, and I just wasn't seeing anybody, and I was still like sad and a little miserable. Because like the relationship I was in was almost 3 years, so you know that's a long time to be with someone. Anyway, so I was like, okay, whatever. So I got on Tinder, and I had a few good dates on there. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not gonna just completely trash on the app, but this guy in particular. So we decided to meet up at a diner, like just to do chill. It was a nice summer day, and we wanted to just do something really low-key, nothing like super fancy. I don't really like super fancy first dates unless like I've already had prior knowledge of you before, because then it's just like I'm meeting you for the first time. Yes, we've had conversation, but like we don't really know how we vibe well, and if I'm in a fancy restaurant with you, it's gonna be hard for me to leave. It's gonna be hard for me to cut it short, you know what I mean? So we're trying to find each other, and this, if you're in Toronto, this is around like, is it around Woodbine? I don't know. Broadview, it's around Broadview area, so you know that bridge where the train goes over. So I'm on the bridge above, and he's coming towards me, towards like Broadview station, and the guy was walking like a freaking douche. Like he was just like this the entire time, just walking down like across the bridge. He was just like and he literally walked like that the entire way. So we met, I saw him, and I was like, hey, and I was just like, oh my god. From the moment I saw how he walked, I was just like, this is going to be terrible. So we start walking towards where we're gonna eat, and mind you, this walk is like about a 5-minute walk. But before I even got to the restaurant or like the spot, I didn't even want to go on the date. Like I was just like, oh my god, I don't want to be here. And to be honest, I had a very bad feeling about the date before I left. So I texted one of my friends, and I was just like, yo, if I text you this, you better call me. This was my first time ever doing this. I just had a weird feeling about the date, but I was just like, you know, I'm trying to get out there. I'm just trying to not be mopey or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take y'all advice and go. So we're walking to the place to get something to eat. And you know, when you're walking, you know, you're meeting someone, you're like, oh my god, you know, small conversation is being made. And within those small conversations, I just knew like this is gonna be a terrible date. Like it was just confirmed at that point. So we're talking, whatever. He tells me I'm beautiful. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know, like you're cool too. Like, no, he wasn't. let's just say he put up his best photo on Tinder. Let's just leave it at that. Like angles and everything. He was working that camera, okay? He was working that camera better than I ever knew how to work camera, okay? Like that's how good he made himself look in these videos. Like in the photos, like you could tell it was him, but in person it was just like, it's only you from a certain angle. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, So we're walking to the place. We're talking about stuff that we've done. So I saw that he had like a necklace on his neck, and he was like, oh, this is a shark tooth. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, where'd you get it? He told me where he got it. I don't remember what country he got it from, but he was like, oh, my friend slayed a shark and he got me this tooth. I was like, okay, cool. And then he was like, oh, you know, I got caught, I think it was at the Brazilian border, I don't know, he got caught in some forest that goes across a border, and he was a fugitive. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, cool. So I'm on a date with a fugitive. This is a great start. Like, this is something you failed to mention before we even met. But I mean, okay, cool. I didn't believe him anyways, because he did not look like he could ever be some sort of fugitive. He was this short guy. He didn't look like he could harm a fly. I'm sure he could though. It's always the ones you don't expect. Anyways, so we get to talking about education and stuff, telling him that, you know, I recently graduated. No, that I'm graduating. At the time, I still had a semester left of school. I was like, oh yeah, I'm graduating and stuff. And then he was like, oh yeah, I own several businesses. He's like, you know, like how those people on Facebook, how they do ads and stuff. He's like, I do that, and like Facebook comes to me to get up their ads and put their ads on. So basically he was saying he works for Facebook. I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, but I also do medicine. That's quite the jump, don't you think? This is literally things that he's saying to me. But to go from being a graphic designer to working in medicine to slaying freaking sharks across the ocean to traveling here and doing this and that, it just seems like a lot. It just seems like a whole bunch. It just seemed like such a big lie. And his stories just kept overlapping, and I was just like, this guy is just such a liar. And mind you, every time I tried to have a conversation with him, it would always relate to him. Like, I barely got a word in. He spoke the entire day. I was already turned off, so I was just like like, what's the point of you being here? So yeah, he spoke the entire day about himself. Like, I can't even remember everything we spoke about because it's been so long, but the gist is that he was like, I'm so well traveled, and he was saying he's done a lot of things, but a lot of the things that he had done had overlapped in other things that he was supposed to be doing. So anyways, skip over, we get to the place that we're gonna eat, and we go to sit down, and we continued to talk about just education and stuff, and he was just like, yeah, he's like, I've never really fit in, which is something I understand and like can relate to at some point in my life. I felt like I've never fit in, especially when I first came to Canada. I just felt like I didn't fit in because kids would make fun of me because I had an accent, or just make fun of me for being like from another country. It was weird, very weird. Anyways, so he was talking about the fact that he felt like he never really fit in anywhere. He's saying to me how he never fit in because he was smarter than everybody ever. So he's like, whenever I'd have a conversation with people, I would just feel like I'm wasting my time because these people are so stupid. They'd never understand what I'm saying. And I was just like, okay, there goes the douche again. Which then in turn, I was just like, this is ridiculous, because I'm on a date with this guy and he's telling me all this stuff, and he's telling me that everyone he's ever really spoken to was an idiot. I was like this close to walking out. So I text my friend, and I'm like, please help me. And this girl, okay, this girl, I mean, I can't fault her. She was at work. She's at work, so she didn't get my text till she was on her lunch break. So yeah, she didn't really help that much, because by the time she saw the text, I was already halfway home, and she replied to me calling like, oh my god, are you okay? I'm like, girl, I'm out, but thanks. Thanks. Anyways, so I text her, and you know, no reply or whatever, no call, no nothing. And he's eating, and he eats so sloppy. Like, he's such a sloppy eater. He wasn't even trying to come off like he had any home training whatsoever. He was eating, he was clapping his mouth, like chewing, like his, you know, I could see the food in his mouth. He was dropping stuff on the table, picking it up, licking his fingers, just doing a whole bunch of stuff you just don't want to, stuff you probably do in your own private house, but you're not gonna do it on a first date. Okay, you're gonna do it when you're a couple months into a relationship and you're well comfortable with the person, you know what I mean? Like the little things here and there that someone might judge you for. He just straight up did it. Like, in the midst of telling me all his stories, he's eating with his mouth open, he's dropping food everywhere, he's licking stuff, he's slurping, making slurping noises. How do you make a slurping noise when you're eating a shawarma? How are you slurping? How? We finally get to the point where he's done. He's like, I sure worked up an appetite telling you about my life. And I was like, yeah, you sure did. You sure did tell me about your life. Did you ever learn anything about me? No? Okay. You sure did. So then anyways, I'm like, thank God, like he's done. I'm free. I can go. I just don't want to be here anymore. So I'm here literally waiting for this waiter. Like I'm looking high and low. Every time a waiter passes, I'm kind of like, come here, like I'm trying to check out. So I went ahead and did my face off camera because I tend to ramble when I tell stories. So to bronze, I use my Anastasia bronzer in Mahogany. For blush, I use my NYX blush in Cinnamon just to give my skin a natural flush. And for highlight, I use my Fenty Beauty highlighter in Chic Freak and Girl Next Door. Still broken, still not fixed. So as I was saying, here's the kicker in the story. So we finally get a waiter to come to us and check us out. Mind you, the meal was like $10 because we went to a wrap place. It wasn't anything luxurious or anything, which is fine. But we go to pay and I have no intention of having this guy pay for me at all, like no intention whatsoever. He pulls out his wallet and he starts like sorting through his money. So he pulls like a couple hundreds, and then he pulls out a couple 50s and a couple 20s and a couple 10s, 5s, whatever. He just pulls out a whole bunch of bills. And like he's digging through his wallet as he does this. And I'm kind of like, did you need to do all of that? Did you need to do all of that? Did you need to do all of that? Like you couldn't just sort through your little wallet on your own, just in your own privacy. Instead, he literally was sorting and pulling the money out as he was sorting it. Whereas any normal person would just kind of just, you know, maneuver between the money and then just take out what he needed. So he had to pull out hundreds and 50s and 20s and 10s just to find the 10 that he was looking for. So I was just like, this is just too much. This is too much. I cannot. Like, I can't take you serious. I can't take you seriously. Like, what's going on? And then he had the audacity to look at me and be like, do you need me to pay for you? And I was like, no, I don't need you to pay for me. While he's like fiddling with the money in his hands, like mind you, there's hundreds, 50s, whatever in his hands. I was like, no, it's okay. I'm good. Like, I'm good. So anyways, I pay for my meal and whatever, and we go to say goodbye. Finally. Go to say goodbye. Mind you guys, this was no more than like an hour of my life on the date, but the hour felt like forever. Like it just felt like it wouldn't end. So it was only like an hour. Anyway, so we go to say goodbye, whatever. I give him a hug and he's like, oh yeah, this was nice. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Just gonna agree with what you say, because like I'm not trying to have this conversation right now. So we go, we hug, and it was a nice summer day, as I've mentioned, and I decided to walk myself back home to just sort through what the hell just happened on this date. And we go our separate ways. So I'm like, what direction are you going in? And he's like, this way. And I'm like, oh, I go that way. The whole time, I was meant to go the direction he was going. And I was just like, oh, I go that way. So I walked that way, like 5-10 minutes. Sat down at a little park and just sorted my entire emotions out, because trust me, that date was an emotional roller coaster for me. So a good like 50 minutes passed and I was like, okay, that's good. That should be a good enough head start to where I won't run into him. So yeah, so I ended up just walking back in the direction that I was actually meant to be going in. And thankfully, I did not run into him. He may have seen me, but I sure as hell didn't see him. Okay, for my lips, I'm just gonna use my NYX Lip Liner in Espresso. So here's the funny part. After the date or whatever, this guy I was like, oh my god, I had so much fun. A couple of hours later, he's like, we should do this again sometime. And I was out of I was out of harm's way. Mind you, I was like 22, 23. So I was still kind of like I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but now I'm older, so I could be like, listen, it's not working. This isn't gonna work. But back then I was just like, I didn't want to hurt his feelings and stuff. So I was like, I waited until I was home and he messaged me. And I was just like, honestly, it's not gonna work. I don't see us working out in that way. But thank you so much for a good time and for good company. Such a liar. So he's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. And I was like, okay, great. He took that nicely. Like, I don't have to worry about that. Guys, this guy kept messaging me for months on months. Just random stuff. And years went by. Like, I'm talking 2 years went by. And he messaged me. He just messages me the most random stuff. So his number in my phone is saved as creep, do not answer. I knew it was him the entire time, so I just did not answer or reply. But I thought it was very, very weird and creepy that he would go to such lengths to message me. Why? Why? I don't know. But yeah, guys, that is my worst. What the hell am I doing? But yeah, guys, that is my worst Tinder date experience and just worst date experience in general. Alright, y'all, so this is it for the final look. I hope you guys like it, and I also hope that you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit of one of the worst dating experiences I've ever experienced. If you guys would like to see more content from me, be sure to come back next Monday because I upload a new video every Monday. So until then, I will see you next Monday. Bye!